Houston's been a team who has always been a difficult opponent for us. I think Benny's done a great job with them. They have a clear way of playing that suits the players they've brought in very well, and they don't deviate and do different things, and so it's a difficult team to defend. It's also a difficult team if you don't play fast and if you don't push the tempo. It's a difficult team to break down, and so it's nice to finally play them with a full week of training. Every time we play them, it's always a midweek game or some strange storm on its way, or directly over.
You're gonna have weather this weekend.
Yeah, so it seems to be the theme. But it's nice to have a full week of training to prepare for this game. They've made some additions, some good players, and have added to their already prolific attack. So we have our hands full for sure. But I always love playing them. It's a good matchup for both sides. I think it's usually creates an exciting match, and looking forward to it. And we look to improve on some of the areas we fell short on against St. Louis, but I also saw a lot of good things against St. Louis and against Portland, and we look to build on that and improve on the other areas.
Thank you. And just a reminder to those on Zoom, please raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question. We'll start on site with Max Bretos.
The good and the bad of being able to watch the game kind of is away from the coaching box. What are the things that you kind of enjoyed in that situation? What are the things that you're like saying, I wish I was closer to the guys?
Well, the best thing is I was able to watch a LAFC home game with my family, with my wife and kids. That was great. It's not maybe something I need to do every week. I like also being on the sidelines, but that was a great experience. But again, maybe once in a career is fine for me.
How do you think Ante faring, but even that conversation, how much is it close to where he could express himself, or how much is it the system that was in place?
Look, I don't know. I'm not on the sideline, so I can't really answer your question. I do know that I was here every day in training prior to the match. I write the match plan, we create the tactics, talk to the team beforehand, and so what happens on the sidelines through the 90 minutes, it's a question for the coaching staff. Mark and Enrique and Oka are very engaged. And we as a staff have always accomplished things as a staff. There's never really just one opinion and my way or the highway. So it's always been a collective effort, and I'm pretty sure that's the way it went down last week as well.
But it's also good for Ante. This is your week. You do those final preps. You kind of steer this team to where you want that final product for the game.
I'm not sure where you're going with this. What was the question again?
No, but for Ante, this is a good opportunity. This is your week where you're going to be coaching the team. You lead the guys as you see it.
Yeah, look, all the prep we did as normal, and so everybody, and the warm up as well. Everybody assumed their roles we always have. But yeah, again, I'm not allowed to be in the locker room 90 minutes prior to the game, and that's where Ante, Mark, Enrique, and Oka took over.
The new guys, now that you've had them a week, and Ryan, I've seen them out there, how do you see their contributions and where they're coming along?
Both of them. Frankie is further along fitness-wise than Ryan, and both are contributing. You can see the quality in both players and why we decided to bring them in and to increase our depth and quality in the team. Both are players who have great mentalities, who are workers, but technically proficient, and we think are good fits for our model here at LAFC. Both are aggressive players, have qualities on both sides of the ball, and both understand this league and have positive and a lot of experience in this league.
Thanks, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Last call for questions online. Josh, go ahead.
Thank you. Hey, Steve. Ante, after the match, speaking to us, was pretty direct about a few things. One thing that he stood out to me was talked about the team trying passes or attempting passes that are not tried in practice, not thought about in practice. Is that something you saw as well, sort of out of characteristic attempts on the field, and what do you owe to that? What do you think is responsible for that?
No, I don't really agree with that statement. I think I don't know the exact quote, but I think I'm interpreting what you're saying correctly. Or I know our coaching staff and what we talk about. I think what was meant was the players were trying things they shouldn't try. That also happens in training. And our attacks were rushed at times, and we weren't quite set and ready to go, and we were sort of forcing the issue at times. And I'm 100% positive that's what Ante was referring to, and not how you explained it.
All right, fair enough. What do you think the reason for that was, the way that you guys discuss it?
Well, part of it is going down in the scoreline and losing and lacking composure, and it's just a little bit of. It's not a whole lot off. I think our XG was high. We created enough chances. Statistically, that game is a blowout. There's no chance that you should tie that game or even come close to losing that game. And so we're not misfiring by much. It was just a few poor decisions and execution in the final third or in front of goal, which changes the trajectory of that game and scoreline. So by no means were we unhappy with that performance.
Okay. If you look ahead to this month, 7 matches, obviously some big tests. Vancouver is the best team in the league and clearly just made the Champions League final, so they're playing great. But there is seemed like some opportunity here. 3 bottom teams in the West, worst team in the East over this stretch. How are you looking at this month that's pretty compacted? And what are you hoping that you see out of this team over the course of May?
Yeah, we need to be in the business of gathering points and climbing the table. And that's what we're concerned with. Yes, we look at performances, but we need to win games. And we need to start Saturday against Houston.
And as you referenced, they've been difficult sometimes to play with some circumstances that you can't control, but none of those things seem to be in the cards for Saturday. How do you think you set up with them, your full strength against what they're offering? What does that matchup look like?
Yeah, more of the same. So they're obviously a possession-based team. They're really good at combining through the middle of the park. They have some weapons on the right. A good setup with Dorsey and McGlynn. Dorsey giving some depth and verticality, and McGlynn underneath. You have to be wary of his left foot as a passer and finisher. And they've added obviously some quality up top and shaded towards the left. But Bossy is always a handful. So they have many ways to break you down. But for us, it's really about making the game about ourselves and not so much about Houston, and really pushing the tempo and playing as fast as possible, but still under control.